all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 26th of March and day 2 of the 21-day lockdown here in India. Here's everything that you need to know this Thursday. Total cases of the novel coronavirus disease in India rose to 606 yesterday, even as the country remains in lockdown. The current count of COVID-19 patients in the state of Maharashtra is 122, with the government urging people to stay at home. Internationally, the novel coronavirus is wreaking havoc. Spain reported its deadliest day yet, while in the UK, the government moved to shut Parliament and Prince Charles has tested positive. European Union leaders inched closer to a rescue package, and Germany unleashed a historic bailout, with a majority of lawmakers in the Bundestag having voted to set aside constitutional debt limits to combat the crisis. Russian President Vladimir Putin even postponed a public vote on constitutional changes next month that would allow him to stay in power till 2036. In Brazil, President Jair Bolsonaro, echoing US President Donald Trump, has urged the country to resume normal life to protect the economy. That may be too late for Thailand, which faces its biggest economic contraction since the Asian crisis. Singapore, meanwhile, reported its biggest daily jump in new cases. And US President Donald Trump said he would stop using the China virus label to de-escalate the blame game with China. As of this morning, the total number of cases globally stood at 468,523, with total deaths having risen above 21,000. In India, work under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which guarantees 100 days of work to daily wage earners in rural areas, has come to a standstill due to the lockdown. Some ongoing work that involves priority and comes under essential services like for hospitals is still going on. Some states have announced that they will pay workers even during the lockdown, with Kerala announcing the release of 2,000 crore rupees under the employment scheme in the next 2 months. Karnataka, on the other hand, will pay workers for the next 2 months in one instance. The Tamil Nadu government has announced 2 days of wages to be paid to workers registered under the scheme, while workers in Uttar Pradesh under the scheme will soon be paid their dues for March. In other measures, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has ordered that toll collection at all toll plazas across India be suspended temporarily. To help people and businesses affected by the virus outbreak, state-owned lenders including Indian Bank and Union Bank of India have announced the launch of special emergency loan products like personal loans and soft loans for self-help groups. Sticking with the banking space, Axis Bank has said that the banking industry was waiting for the government and the Reserve Bank of India to come up with a structured, seamless framework to deal with the stress arising from the nationwide lockdown. According to Amitabh Chaudhary, the managing director at the bank who was speaking to Bloomberg Quint, the obvious thing to do is to allow some kind of forbearance, restructuring or leeway in repayments of term loans and extension of working capital cycles. He also feels that concerted action is required in the bond market. In the top global news, the Federal Reserve could now have as much as $4.5 trillion to keep credit flowing and to make direct loans to US businesses through the massive coronavirus stimulus bill being considered by US lawmakers. The bipartisan agreement, which still needs to be passed by the Senate and the House and signed into law by US President Donald Trump, will include $454 billion in funds for the Treasury to backstop emergency actions by the Fed to support the US economy, according to Senator Patrick Toomey, who said this yesterday. US stocks posted their first back-to-back gains since the 12th of February, as investors awaited unprecedented government spending packages. Stocks fell from the day's highs late in the session after Republican senators raised objections to the unemployment benefits section of the stimulus bill, and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders threatened to hold up legislation unless those objections were dropped. Stocks in Asia were mixed at the start of trade. And with that, it's over to Agam Vakil for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Agam. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex, and good morning, listeners. Well, we expect a little more stability in opening trade per the indications of the SGX Nifty, which is trading higher by around 50-odd points. But moving on to stock-specific updates, we have Indiabulls Real Estate, where the company says that the 500 crore buyback, which was already approved by the board, will be completed in the next quarter or in the following one, depending on the date of the opening of the current lockdown. Delta Corp has also considered and will take up a share buyback in its board meeting on March 28th. Now we have REC, where the board has approved increasing the market borrowing program by 4,000 crores to 94,000 crores for the financial year 2020. The corporation seeks to raise 2,500 crores via capital gains tax exemption bonds. And NTPC said that the second unit of the 660 megawatt of Khargone super thermal power project has been added and installed capacity of NTPC on successful completion of trial operations. The total installed capacity of the group now stands at 58,816 megawatts. Ashok Leyland has been downgraded by ICRA, that is its long-term rating, to ICRA AA- from ICRA AA+, on the outlook where the rating considers the expected deterioration in Ashok Leyland's financial risk profile over the medium term, with the longer than expected slowdown in domestic commercial vehicles industry. And in a positive update in TVS Motor, where its Indonesian arm's one plant has resumed operations from March 26th, that is today. And finally, coming down to bulk deals, we have India Cement, where veteran investor Radhakishan Damani has increased stake in the company by another 0.5% and bought stock at nearly 95 rupees per share. Now, these are just some of the stocks that we can watch out for as we move into trade today, but don't forget to go through our morning edition of All You Need to Know only on BloombergQueen.com.
Thanks, Agam. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day and do stay safe.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Pesa Vesa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.